Excuse me, kitty. How can we be wrong? Sail away to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. Let's walk.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. It's a sad day today, but also a day of celebration. How are we doing? Naomi, tell us.
Doing good. This was a bit of a shock last night, hearing this news.
Yes. See, I remember Dolly from ages ago, but we're first going to welcome Rochelle because she's not even in the country. Where are you?
Cyprus.
Cyprus.
Very glamorous.
I'm in the air-conditioned room now, which is nice though, because it's very hot, so it's nice to come in every now and again. And even the pool's so warm, it's like you don't really feel the benefit.
I don't like a warm swimming pool. I don't like the warm sea. Give me cold.
Yeah, I do like jumping into it, like when it's red hot and you're just like, oh, I just want to go in the pool and cool down. And you do cool down a little bit being in there, but not as much as what you'd like.
Well,
how are you, Victoria?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I've been on the motorway and repairing cars. I need a new car, so
have you got a new job as a mechanic?
Listen. So it was my niece's birthday.
A woman of many talents.
Listen, my niece turned 18 on Monday, and she was determined to have her birthday on Monday, her birthday party on Monday. And so I went up north on Sunday, great drive. Monday morning, trying to get everything sorted. And I noticed that the temperature gauge, the thing that tells you how hot it is outside, it was just dashes. And I was like, oh, all right then. And then I tried to put my window down, which I did, and tried to put it up, and it wouldn't go up. And then at some point, the window just went and straight into the door, straight all the way down. So £100 later, to a very, very absent-minded mechanic, because he just couldn't be bothered. I'm used to mechanics that are just friendly and stuff, and and they're like, and he just, anyway, they did what they could, or they did what they thought they could, and back. But I'm succumbing to the fact that I need a new car.
Your car, it's not very new, is it? And it gets a lot of hammer driving up and down from London. So I feel like you've got two choices: get a new car or just move up north and then.
No, I'll get a new car. So my car is 25 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when I got it, it had only done 25,000 miles.
Was it done now, Vic?
It did its 70,000th mile.
Oh, that's not high.
No,
I'm well over 100 on mine.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? It is a gorgeous car, but it's just old. It's like things that wouldn't normally go bad on a newer car are going bad on this one and stuff. And it is frustrating because I'm used to having new cars, but I haven't had a new car in about 7 years. So, but it's okay.
That's what I keep saying to Chris and the kids. You have to get poorer before you get richer.
Yes.
When you're in business, you invest so much money into the business, and your wages drop from, like, you two were both in corporate, and like that drops, and but you're working to build it back up. Because we noticed with this holiday that we're on now, we're like, this isn't our usual standard of hotel. Like, it's a nice enough hotel, but there are lots of things that we've sacrificed on to just be able to come on holiday. And I know we're still very lucky, because a lot of people can't afford to go on holiday at all, and it's still, I don't know, I think it's still a 4-star hotel. It's still a very nice hotel, but it's just not as nice as what we used to. But we'll get back to those things. We'd rather go on more holidays that are cheaper than not be able to go regularly. So
100%. But somebody said to me, oh, what car would you love? And I said, I said, an Audi Q7, and they looked at me and I went, I walked into Aldi and bought a brand new one. You know, mine was I designed one for myself, so that's what I'm used to. So yeah, so it's they were like, oh, I was like, yeah. I said those days have changed because now I've got a business. I can't just go walk into Aldi and order a car for over 100 grand and stuff. So yeah, so we've been slumming it. Anyway,
That's a good conversation for another day.
Yes.
it is a
Mulling
conversation.
it as business owners.
Conversation. So last night, we saw the news, and I thought, oh, let's change it because we had another juicy topic that Naomi had suggested and stuff. And I thought, you know what, let's talk about Dolly, but most importantly, let's just talk about stars that we've loved and lost, because whether we like it or not, you and whether you're in business or you've got a job, at some point you get thrown these people into your lives who you may never meet, or you may meet, but you'll never get to know who they really are. And they become people who you admire or you love to watch, or who make music, or they do something creative enough for you to just connect with, and emotionally as well. Sometimes some people can connect to music at the most difficult times of their lives, some of the happiest times in their lives. Um, when did you first? Actually, Rochelle, you're a bit younger than us and stuff. Do you? When did you first hear about Dolly, and does it even matter? Or are you one of those people that go, who?
No, I heard about. I think at the same time as everyone else. I've been really good on holiday, leaving my phone in the room and things. But I think we're 2 hours ahead, so I was like in bed having a scroll when I saw it. And yes, of course, I knew who Dolly Parton is, and I knew her songs, and like obviously it's very sad.
Yeah.
It always is when people pass away. But when you sent the topic, I was a bit like, okay, because I feel like I'm very cold hearted. I'm very disconnected from like death and people, and like while I think she's an amazing woman, and I feel sorry for her family, and it's a sad thing, but I don't feel like I get emotional about it. And I was trying to think, is there any stars that have like passed away and I've felt like, oh my god, I've lost a family member? And I don't think that there is. There's definitely some stars I feel more sad about than others, especially like we had, I think it was last week, Hayden Panettiere, do you say a name like that? Her passing away and only being like 36, 37. She was my age, and like that's very sad for someone of that age to pass away. But again, I still feel very disconnected from it, even though I've seen her in films as I was growing up and she's the same age as me. I don't feel the same way as I would if it was somebody that I'd met and knew in real life.
And it's really funny actually, because when I suggested it, I normally wouldn't, but I thought there's other people. I'm very similar, as in I'm not connected. I mean, God, I love her music. Like her music, my dad had. You remember video cassettes? My dad had a whole video cassette of her concert with Kenny Rogers, and it's still so vivid in my memory and stuff of watching it, like the music and just the way they just messed around on stage and what have you. And I remember at the time wondering, are they married to each other? And then I was so disappointed when I discovered that they were actually married to different people, because I had fantasized in my whole life that this was them. I must have been about 12 or something watching that. But I'm very aware that our audience would probably know and are probably going, oh my God, and I think people take it very differently. Like Naomi. Naomi was like, oh my God, I'm going to be, I think I'm going to be emotional. Tell us about how you're feeling, Naomi.
Yeah, I mean, she was an absolute legend. And like, not just her music, the impact that she had on people. Look at what she did for her family. She employed every single family member. If there was one person that you think about generosity and love and abundance, it was her. And I think, I wasn't sat here last night wailing and upset, but
Yeah.
I think I was shocked, because I think she was one of those women, or one of those people that was so young at heart that you just never thought that she'd die, which I know sounds ridiculous because everybody has to die.
Yeah.
But think, we've only just seen her recently, like,
Yeah.
in different places and things. And I sat here last night and I decided, funnily enough, you've changed today, but actually I decided, what, I'm going to change my radio show today and I'm going to try and
Yeah.
get as much Dolly on as I can. And I put out a post for people to comment and, request tunes. And I was really surprised at all the comments and how many people said, we had that at my dad's funeral. We had that at my mum's funeral. So
Yeah.
I think that thing is that music so often, like you said at the beginning, it has memories for us. It brings us back to good places, bad places, difficult times, different things. But also, I think what so often happens is it becomes a bit like generational trauma gets passed on, generational music taste gets on. And I dressed up as Dolly Parton 20 years ago. I worked for Mandarin Oriental between 2001 and 2004. Every January, they used to throw us the most spectacular employee party. And the idea was it was always in January because of the lead up and how busy we all worked. Christmas, New Year, we looked after our guests. And in January, they used to literally decorate the whole of the ballroom like it was for guests, not like it was for staff. They would cater everything. And I remember I lived in Hertfordshire at the time. I've got pictures and I would have looked them out last night if I hadn't been so busy with everything else. But I've got pictures of me, blonde, peroxide blonde wig, cowboy hat, denim shirt, jeans. And I am not very well endowed. Never have been.
They want to see pictures.
Do you know what I did?
What?
I went and got bags of red lentils.
Okay.
Put them into cling film. Bought a bra that was about 7 times too big for me. And filled this bra with cling film bags of red lentils. I didn't want them to be hard. I wanted them to be like soft and realistic. Oh. I travelled from Hertfordshire into London, across to Knightsbridge to the Mandarin Oriental, bearing in mind blonde wig, fake cling film boobs. By the time I got to London, I was literally melting.
Like proper big boobed women do and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And isn't it funny how, I wanted to dress up as Dolly that night and, and I look every so often I see that picture come up on my feed or in my album or something, and it brings back an incredible memory. Yeah. And, I think that's the thing so often with these stars, celebrities, that it's not just the music, it's something that maybe else has kind of triggered a memory. And that was it was a beautiful memory for me. Beautiful memory. And yes, I think, just seeing what she has done for, the work that she has done over the years that some of us probably won't start to find out until now.
Right.
Because I think she was a very, very humble woman. Yeah. And I don't think she would ever have shared some of the incredible things that she did. But I think some of those stories will start to come out now. And if I'm going to say this now because, my brain, it will forget. And when you said last night that we were changing the subject to stars, I was like, oh my God, who else has had this? Who else has had an impact? And look, not a musician, but the person that I can think of that had a profound effect when she died was Princess Diana.
Oh yeah, I think that one hit everyone. But you know what it is? I think it's also the fact that people, you get people who become well known, who are wealthy, who are creating so much impact in life. And I think more than the sorrow of that somebody has passed away, I think it's more like, oh my God, her too, she can die. Because you almost think, well, if she's dead, we've got no hope and stuff. Even though we know that we're all going, like none of us are leaving here alive, right? And yet it's stuff is like, damn, like if she's going, we ain't got no hope. So I think with Diana especially and stuff, everybody can remember exactly where they were when that happened. But back to Dolly before we sort of like looking at other people, because what comes to mind is the shock of and the sadness as well. One of the ones that really I was so sad about, but again when I watch his comedy and stuff, I'm like, do you know what? You were so gifted and you've left such an incredible gift in the world. And also, can I just say this? When you know what your purpose is, you can leave a better legacy, because when you go, your life continues to live on. But Matthew Perry, you
Yeah.
know, even though we know that he was troubled and stuff, it was such a sad day when he left. But back to Dolly, funnily enough and stuff, like she's on Instagram at the moment a lot, right? Over the last 24 hours. And there was one where she was talking about the inspiration of her look. And it was the fact that she saw this tramp when she was a little girl, and this tramp, this woman. I think she was homeless, and she looked like Dolly does, or Dolly did, and she used to admire her. And they were like, "Oh, she's a tramp. She's a tramp." She was like, "But that's what I want to look like when I grow up, you know." And that's what she's based her look on. And this guy was like, "But do people get the wrong idea about you? Because to be fair, it is provocative. In today's standards, she looks conservative, right? But at the time, it was like
She's a trailblazer,
right? She looked provocative, and she said, "You know what?" She goes, "Men hit on me all the time." She goes, "I walk in, and people just assume that I want to sleep with them." She goes, "But by the time they've figured out how intelligent I am," she goes, "I've taken the money and gone." And because the guy was like, "Do people actually realize how intelligent you are and what a phenomenal businesswoman you are?" She went, "They're so busy wanting to sleep with me and seduced by what they see that they forget that I am a very intelligent businesswoman." And as business owners, I think one of the things that we should really take from this is not necessarily how she looked or even her music, but also as a businesswoman, who was she? What has she done? You know, you talk about what she's done for her family, hiring her family. It was her nephew, her security guard, who announced her death.
yeah.
And he was like, "She's asked me to do this years ago, like years ago, that was planted on me." So it's like, what could we learn from her as well as a businesswoman? Because initially you think, "Oh, yeah, she's gone." But to be fair, she's 80, right? So she's had a good life. Also, she was a widow. People forget that and stuff. And it's like, when you've loved someone as long as that, and apparently they were still in love, then your heart breaks and stuff. And it's like, after a while, it's like, well, what else matters? So you will follow, in most cases, you do follow your spouse. But overall, it's like, as a businesswoman, like, what was she then? What did she do? How did she handle those situations? Because, I'm sure at some point, some of us have experienced where you walk into a room and a guy looks at you and tries to sort of like sexualize you, if that makes sense, and stuff, or try and flirt with you to get your mind off the ball, because you're too intelligent, if that makes sense, and stuff. So it's like all those different things. What could we learn from her? But she'll definitely be missed. And like I say, my favorite bits are her with Kenny Rogers. If you've not seen it, just go on YouTube and look for it. We're playing some of it at the beginning of this. It's just beautiful. There's the one where she sings and she walks into the room, and I don't think anybody knew that she was coming in, and she started singing, and he just dropped his microphone, as in, "Oh, my heart," and it's just the most amazing thing. But yeah, rest in
Love
peace.
that. I saw a little clip again, like you said, the algorithms obviously are just pushing it everywhere. But I saw a little clip last night with Julia Roberts, and I don't know what they starred in together, but they starred in something together years ago, because the clip of Julia Roberts, I was like, "Oh my God, she looks so young there."
Yeah.
And they were on a chat show together. And Julia Roberts said something that she learned from Dolly Parton was they were filming somewhere. The weather was such intense heat, and Julia Roberts was kind of like, "Oh my God, have we got to do another take?" and kind of moaning about it. And obviously Dolly was older than her even then, and she was sort of like, "Dolly, like, aren't you like hot and moaning and da da da?" And she went, "All I ever wanted when I was growing up was to be rich and famous. And now I'm rich and famous. I've got nothing to complain about."
Right.
And you know what that did for me last night? And listen, my coaches have frequently said this to me. When I'm in that messy middle of, it's just not all coming together.
Yeah.
I dreamt
Yeah.
of being where I am right now, and never, ever, ever, well, actually didn't dream about it, because I never thought it was possible.
Yeah.
And so isn't that a beautiful lesson that she said, I will never moan about being too hot or something taking too long or having to fly across the world or performing or whatever, because it's all I ever dreamt of. And I just think, yeah, there's a woman that had so much gratitude, faith, everything. And yeah, you said there like she was 80, and I think this is probably what hit me a bit last night. This year, I've seen a lot of people that I kind of grew up with fame wise, of that age. And I suppose my dad's 93. And when I saw that last night, one of the first things I thought was, my dad's going to see that on the news.
Yeah.
And this year, I think he has seen an awful lot of people who, who are younger than him pass away this year. And I think, like we said about sort of facing mortality, I think that sometimes kind of hits you a little bit.
The film was Steel Magnolias. I just googled it.
That's it. Yeah, Steel Magnolias. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm thinking right now that more and more people, more and more stars, like public figures that I knew or that I connected with, are going, even the ones that are younger than me or older than me, to the point where if somebody said to me now, like when the kids, my sister's kids, when they talk about their stars, I'm like, who? Like I literally, yeah, because I don't know, because the likes of,
K-pop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now, even when I go through Netflix to look for a film, half the people I don't know, and I'm like, I just want a good Clint Eastwood film.
Maisie's favourite band are called Cat's Eye at the moment. Have you heard of them?
No, I'm not down with the kids anymore. Got no idea. I mean, look, I'm antique. I'm antique.
You're antique. Is that the 1975 band, or is that just okay?
Not the band.
Not the band. No.
I claimed the year before they claimed the band.
The funny thing is, even they are quite modern for me and stuff like. I'm just like, I don't know anything.
One of their mums is Denise Welsh. Most of us grew up like with kind of Denise, and then her child. A bit like Colleen Nolan, like her band, or we're kind of growing with the mums, and now the sons are like the ones that are kind of coming through.
Fun fact: I love Denise Welch. Like, I adore her. There's a number of women that I love. Her, Caroline Hirons, Judy Love. Like, there's certain women that I just adore. Denise Welch is probably one of the top ones, and I've always wanted to see her. And I got used to get invited over to Lucian quite a bit, and every time I went, she was never there. And one day I had a meeting in town. It was about 2 years ago, and it was probably last year, and I walked out of Holborn station, and I literally saw this figure, and I was like, that's Denise. And I actually walked over and I went, I have been waiting to meet you for so long. That's all I said. I was like, I've been waiting to meet you for so long. And it was so funny because like she was sat on her own, and she was stood on her own, and her back was towards everything and stuff. And bless her, she's so tiny.
Yeah.
She's so tiny, but she's so gorgeous and everything and stuff. And we chatted, and she was like, oh, would you like a pic? And we took a pic. And she was feeling a bit sort of like unsteady, and like she wasn't very well. And she was like, yeah, I just had a bit of a moment. I've been on the show, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she left and stuff, and, sort of like said goodbye. But afterwards, I was like, I didn't even ask if I could help her and stuff. I was like, it was such a lovely thing. And you know what?
Starstruck.
I just think she is just the most amazing person. But again, yes, more a Denise fan than a 1975 fan. Rochelle, so who else? I know that you say you're cold-hearted. I don't think you're cold-hearted. I just think it's a coping mechanism, and that's fine. Yeah. After what you've,
I would describe it as keeping like a lid on emotions. I think some people, and I notice this, especially like online on Facebook and things like that, people get so like caught up in everything else that's going on in the world that they can't, like, we've got our own things to deal with. And while I'm like, while I'd love to make big changes, we need to do what we're doing to be able to make the big changes. And we can make small changes, obviously, and we can make a dent. But I think we've just got to be careful to like protect our energy and not get eaten up by all the sad things that are going on in the world, because as well as all the sad things, the people dying, the wars, there's also a hell of a lot of good things going on, and things that we can be happy about and things that we can appreciate, and just appreciate the fact that we're here living like comfortable lives, like I mentioned earlier about being on holiday and being able to afford to be able to do that and spend time with my family. We are very, very lucky, so it's appreciating that as well as being able to see the sad things. But yeah, I'm very much like a keep the lid on my fizzy bottle very tight kind of person. So if I let little things upset me, there's not much room in there, I don't think, for like people that I don't know to feel those massive emotions.
And I think that's a message for a lot of people as well, because I find it's just like when people go and like other people's posts, but your friends and colleagues and things, you don't like their post. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're supporting people that you'll never meet or don't know, but you won't support the person who you're friends with or you claim to support and everything else. It's like it's okay grieving for even to like shedding emotion for someone that you don't know, but are you doing that for the people around you, or is it just the famous people? Do you know what I mean? Is it just
Yeah.
the people out there? Can I just say this, Rochelle? The day I go, I want you rolling and wailing like I want
Like
to
a
hear.
banshee.
Yes,
Sorry, I can't handle it.
I want pure
Don't
I want pure
worry.
emotion.
And you want us to have a national day of mourning.
Yeah.
Listen. I want rolling and stuff. Once you've rolled, and I'm like, okay, you can do what you can do. Talking about grief. Funnily enough, in Cameroon, where I think I spent 12 years in Cameroon, so six to the ages of 18, and if somebody passed away, it you'd normally get somebody getting their hair done, and as African hair, it takes a long time to get the hair done and stuff. So they'll be plaiting somebody's hair, and then they'll get told that somebody's passed away, and they'll stop the hair and roll on the ground like proper wailing, right? And then, or you'll get people going to the place with half done hair and stuff, like proper grief, like we're showing grief. We've had so many deaths in Cameroon, like where people. I think it's just like normal anyway, but it just seems like it. Where when people die now, it's like, let me get my hair done first. Okay, now what dress am I going to be wearing? And stuff, like the attitudes have completely changed and stuff. It's like, this may be where I go find my husband. like it's all completely changed, and it's such a funny experience, because like before it used to be like, you'd get women like, they'd be tying maybe a cloth around their waist and stuff, and they'll get there and their boobs are out and everything because they're just so in such distress. Now you're snatched, the hair's on point, the outfit is on point, and then you walk in, and then you get there and you cry a bit and stuff, and then you sit down and go, okay, so what is there to eat, what is there to drink and stuff. Like, it's such a
Oh
change.
my
Oh
word.
yeah, it's humor. And listen, do you know what? It's like grief is the result of loving, and if there isn't a bit of humor in there, then what is life at the end of
Yeah.
the day?
And I think that's always what's really like the only nice things about like funerals. You have like the funerals, the sad part, and the wakes where everyone's there, telling stories and celebrating life. Because especially when like somebody's got to 80 plus and you've had a good life and you've enjoyed it and you've lived it, there is lots of celebration and story to tell. And I think that's one thing that like we can learn. It's like making that dent on the earth so that people will continue talking about us. Because I think one of the sad things I think is that a lot of the time when people pass away, there's a big massive fuss on the day, maybe for 2 days, and then like with everything in the internet, it's yesterday's news, and then we're on to we've forgotten about it. But like with somebody like Dolly Parton, like their music is going to consistently live
Exactly.
on, and we'll still be hearing it. We'll still be singing 9 to 5 on the karaoke.
Yeah. One thing that I'm really proud about in my family, my grandmother, my dad, we talk about them every day. It's nuts. Like what they've left behind. what they've done. Like I can't remember what I was saying to my mum the other day. Yesterday actually, it was about cooking, and my mum was like, "Oh my god, tell me again that your grandmother taught you how to cook and stuff, and that all her grandchildren know how to cook and what have you." And she did. It's like at a very young age, she'd give you a potato and go peel it. And it was and it was a training that we didn't even know we were in, if that makes sense and stuff. But the legacy that you leave behind is just phenomenal. So who else? Who else has gone? We were talking about different stars. Who else, Naomi?
Something I thought about, I wrote it down because I was like, if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah.
how I was thinking actually when Victoria was talking about Matthew Perry earlier when you were talking about him. I was thinking you were going to say Robin Williams.
Me too. Yeah, Robin Williams, I think, and I think maybe he was one of the first comedians of that caliber that had died in the way that he died.
Yeah.
That then really made you think, oh my gosh, these people who you see are successful, funny, entertaining others, some of them have a really, really dreadful life, existence, poor mental health, whatever it might be. So yeah, I think Robin Williams probably for me was, especially growing up with like Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, I loved Mork and Mindy.
That was like my little weekend, like Mork and Mindy, and yeah, I think and Mrs. Doubtfire and all those things. I think that was probably somebody that had quite an impact.
Yeah. What about you, Rochelle?
So I'm like thinking of some of the people that you said. Like I remember when Princess Diana died, and I remember one of the girls in my class being absolutely hysterical about it, and I was kind of just like a bit like, oh, I don't even really know who she is. But like I remember she was just like she was crying and crying, like I thought it was like a relative or something. I think I must have been about 9 or something like that. I remember, so a big one for me, and I think the first one that I feel like was like, oh my god, was when Michael Jackson passed away. And he's one person that I can remember that I was in a hotel on holiday with my mum and my sister in Tenerife. And usually I wouldn't remember things in such detail as that. But I think with him, it felt like it wasn't that I was a massive Michael Jackson fan or anything like that, but it just felt like a big shock. And that was probably, so how old would I feel like I was probably, was I around 19 maybe? And maybe that was like the sign of like that, oh my god, we're not here forever. Even the rich and the famous, like what you were talking about before, Victoria, even the rich and famous pass away. There's some things that money can't cure. As much as money can buy lots of things and make us much healthier, it can't cure everything, can it? So
It's really funny because I have, even though I feel sad, I don't know. When I watch people go, I don't know if it's because of the job that I do, but seeing beyond what's there and just and almost like with Matthew and stuff, you're like, I know you're a troubled soul, so I'm not really surprised when you go. But again, it's still sad. Michael Jackson, funnily enough, and stuff. It's like whilst everybody was really shocked, I wasn't. But it was the year, funnily enough, it was 2016 when a lot of celebrities died. Like what's his name, George Michael died that same year. And stuff. Remember, there was like a massive exodus of stars, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what party is being held up there that they're going to and we've not been invited to because they were all leaving? And funny enough, it's the year that my dad passed away as well. But yeah, I remember George Michael, I think, was again another surprise or shock. But again, if you look at the history behind him and stuff and his life and his health and everything else, you're like, I get it. It's like at some point the body's going to go, I'm done. You know what I mean? And that your genius has nothing to do with how long you stay here. It's I guess it's to do with how you treat yourself and everything else. But most importantly, it's also what you create and what you leave, because sometimes stuff just happens, shit happens, and lives get taken away so quickly. But again, it's just an honor to be able to sit here and talk about these people. And also, there's a lot of other people that are still alive. I tell you, one of my biggest ones. Now, I wasn't sort of like around when he passed away. I think I wasn't obvious and oblivious to when. No, no, that's not the word. I wasn't aware when he passed away, but I used to be such a fan of Little House on the Prairie, and I
Oh,
used to watch it all the time. And I was so shocked when I heard that Michael
Michael.
Landon
Yeah.
wasn't alive. And I was watching all these, and I was so heartbroken. I was like, but he's so amazing. It's like, yeah, he's still gone. He's still gone. That you can watch The Little House on the Prairie and still enjoy it. And I think that was that for me, even though there was no social media at the time, it was like, oh, so he's gone. He's not. Yeah, he's gone. Well, to Dolly's family, we wish you all the best. Rest in peace, Dolly. Any final words before we head off?
No, can I just I saw this yesterday. Apparently, her kind of final request was that she is. I wish I could. I wish I had screenshot or whatever. So apparently, she wants to be laid to rest in like an abundance of soft plush cotton because she spent decades in like rhinestones and everything else, and she feels that she has earned the comfort in her death. And I just thought, how beautiful is that too?
You see, I think that's something that you do when you get older and stuff. And we need to bring, is it Katie on here to talk about sort of like life and insurance and
Oh yeah,
what happens when
definitely.
you go. But I was doing my will the other day, and one of the things she asked, one of the things they asked was, "Do you want to be buried or cremated?" I was like, "I ain't ready for this. I still haven't signed it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not ready for this conversation." So she's, fair play to you, Dolly, and stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, and stuff. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I get it. But yeah, I'm not ready to have that conversation yet. And I know, you need to plan and stuff. But I'm like, I'm not going to be here. It doesn't really matter what you do.
Exactly, it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah,
Me and Chris have sorted out all our life insurance and stuff, and like obviously we own quite a few properties, so it's like right if anything happens to me or if anything happens to Chris, the mortgages need to get paid off and stuff like that. And every time like I'm like, stop manifesting my death, like because with all this money, like if anything happens to either of us, one of us is set to have loads and loads of money. So I'm like, right, calm down. Calm down. Let's not manifest this. We're manifesting a long life. Yeah, we're paying it every month, but and it's a good thing to have for those emergencies. But hopefully, it's something that
not anytime
we'll
soon.
not have to. Yeah, we'll not have to use anytime soon. I thought one of the interesting things before we go, what you said, Victoria, was about the difference between when we used to find out. Like when I remember hearing about Michael Jackson's death, it was on the news on TV. Whereas now, I never find any news out on TV. I don't watch the news. I don't like nothing ever pops up. It's always through social media how I find out everything, and we
Yeah,
find out things so quickly. And when my husband passed away, before I'd even got a chance to tell like everybody, like it was already on social media, like it was already being talked about. And I think that's one of the most difficult things these days with how quickly news travels when people aren't quite ready for that news to be out. There's no time to just like sit in your own grief before the world knows about it.
yeah. I'm very old fashioned. I still believe that the family members, like the closest family members, should announce the death and stuff. So, like, heaven forbid, not anytime soon, but the day my mom goes, if I find out that even a cousin fucking announces it and stuff, I will lose my shit. Like, literally, I will, because I'll be fuming, because I think it's such a personal thing
Yeah.
and stuff. And again, newspapers are trying to still be the first to a news or to a story, but I still think it's very insensitive because, you know, it's the shock as well, right? Like, and not everybody. I mean, when my dad passed away and stuff, I was really calm and cool and just managed it. I was very operational through it. But there's some people who are a lot more emotive than that and stuff, and somebody could easily have a heart attack from the shock of hearing about someone gone and what have you. But I think the older you get, the more you see so many people go that you just become a lot more grounded in the experience, and also knowing that it's not the end and stuff. I believe that we go, we go, the body goes and stuff, and the soul comes back and stuff, and I just think it's just a beautiful experience. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't wish it. I still ain't ready to choose which way I'm going. So yeah, no matter how spiritual I look at it, I'm like, that's too much you're asking of me. But yeah, but Naomi, have an amazing show today.
Thank
And
you.
can you tell people where to find you to come and listen to some Dolly?
Absolutely. So Regency Radio, you can download the app. We're on DAB, something else. You can either find it on DAB, go to the App Store, download Regency Radio. I'm on 1 till 3 p.m. I have a fabulous guest on today, the incredible Nikki Perfect, who is the communications coach, former crisis and hostage negotiator for New Scotland Yard. But there's going to be a lot of Dolly today too.
Yay! So, or just follow Naomi and stuff. I'm sure she's got links on her profile somewhere and stuff. Just go follow her and go and enjoy some Dolly. But we'll speak to you soon. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Take care. Bye. Let's see. Oh, I was about to start